And she had to just walk up and say, sis, that drink, you can't have it. Like, she had to get firm, like mother, auntie on me. And she was like, I know that what you're hearing right now is hard to hear, but what they're telling you is that there's a child inside of you who wants to live. And so she said, so I know that this is going to be hard. I need you to tether to your faith. We can pray over it. She like literally got in my face and she got me together and I'm looking at her and she was like, and we're going to pray. She was like, because this child, I don't know what this child's supposed to do, but this child's supposed to do something. But she said to me, but I want to give you your options because I can understand if after a loss, you don't want to think about pregnancy. So if you do not wish to go forward with this other pregnancy, tell me. And we will honor that too if you need some time. So it was just like her ability to kind of like
get you to, right.
And after I sat with it, I was like, okay, this child is healthy. This child is vital. I was already preparing for a child or whatever the case is. And it just taught me like, take a step back. So technically I was pregnant longer than average pregnancy because I never got a break from the first and second. Yeah. He came early, 35 weeks, technically premature. But full size weight, you know, completely healthy. And then now, like I said, he might have ate some of his. Right.
Welcome to Milfshake, where mom life meets realness. I'm Tiff. We have Goldi.
Hola.
Tiff E.
Hey guys.
And Kasha.
Hey y'all.
She is our special guest today, and we are going to get all into her life, what she does and what she specializes in. But before we do that, we need to talk about David and Celeste. This case is in the news. And what do we know about this, ladies?
Okay, so apparently, allegedly, a young man, he came out with a song. And the song is like basically a confession, right? It was a nice song. You guys heard the song?
The Celeste song?
Yes. What's it called?
I didn't.
There's a song called Celeste. I think it was.
Maybe it's called Celeste. Okay,
I
so
think it
in
was
the song, he says that I killed you. You know, basically he was heartbroken. I killed you, and I'm glad I did it, right? But we're all like just singing for like sad, you know, para drama, and then it comes out a girl named Celeste that he was dating ends up in the back of a Tesla. And the cops found it because the smell was like so horrid, like it was smelling for like a long, long time. People drew attention, they found the body and they connected the body back to him because they have matching tattoos. And then right before they found her, she was like missing. She went out like being missing, and now she was found. And then the car that she was found in belonged to Dave as well. So it was a lot of things pointing back to him.
Yeah, and you know what's so crazy is that they're still calling all of it circumstantial at this point. Like they say they don't have any hard evidence with him, but the speculation is coming from more stuff. Like, so they're apparently dating back some years. There's also a history of them in his chat, you know, like the Discord chats of her calling him a pedophile, and that date back to her potentially being like 11 years old when they first came into contact. So I think that's what's kind of making it even worse now, because now we're not just talking about like, you know, a murder. We're talking about how long it's been going on.
Right.
Yeah.
She was 11 then. They found out at what, 14,
15?
Yeah.
Wow.
But they're saying
when she was 13.
Exactly.
I wonder if her parents knew.
Right now.
Like, did her parents know she was dating this guy?
I don't think
Were they
anybody really
friends?
knew, because the supposed matching tattoos said shush. Now they couldn't say, they can't confirm. Her body was so badly decomposed that they couldn't determine how she actually died yet. Yeah, and I don't know if they're going to be able to, because they already returned the body back to the family to like let them bury her. But from what I'm catching or I'm picking up on the situation is, even the song has not been introduced as formal evidence in the actual court.
Which is interesting,
So-
because they get rappers on stuff like that all the time.
They do.
Yeah,
And even in the song literally says, Celeste, I killed you, and I don't feel bad about it. And it's like, oh, well, we don't have substantial evidence.
Yeah.
What?
He said it's a metaphor. He said when he wrote that song, it was just like the relationship dying, like killing him.
I mean,
killing her.
14,
It's crazy.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
because by him saying that, he's directly acknowledging it was a relationship. And so they keep saying supposed relationship, but then his defense for the song, like you said, the song lyrics said it was how I was feeling, like death being like the end of us as opposed to the end of her. But then she done been ended. So
And then there was another video of him cleaning a pair of shoes, and they pulled it up, and he was like, oh, you guys don't even know I clean shoes on the side for money. Why are you cleaning shoes? Are you cleaning
What was he cleaning off of the shoe?
blood? I'm assuming.
Oh.
Like,
See,
but
You gotta say allegedly.
But then it's like, okay,
Who's
allegedly he was cleaning blood, but it's like, What other pair of shoes? Where's your business? Where's the
'Cause you know they
listing?
haven't formally
Where's the
charged
posting?
Right.
They say he's not a
The car
suspect.
being registered to him. Okay, so why did you have this Tesla that you just don't care about? It was impounded. It was towed. It was taken away.
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, it was taken
It's in
away.
this lot. Why though? Was it just abandoned on the street somewhere? And it was
What's
towed into the
interesting
lot?
about it, and this is where my toxicity comes in, right? Because the part of me thought, does he have anybody who doesn't like him? Because
So,
this
like,
would be the perfect
Setup.
setup, right?
All right.
Because we can't put it out of our mind that somebody might do it, because it does seem like very obvious moves. I'm gonna leave the body in my car, leave it parked, and let it decompose. It does seem like a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
But also, mental health is a thing. So if you wasn't thinking clearly, you had a wild out killed this girl, you probably wouldn't be thinking clearly anyway.
Right.
So I just feel like I need to see, and I hate that the autopsy ain't reveal nothing, because
How did her body? She didn't chop
How did
herself
she
up and put
die?
herself in that. Okay, so the most recent report I saw is that she is not pregnant and was not ever pregnant within the last year. They examined her body to determine that she was not, because I guess maybe that would have been a motive. Oh, I got this minor pregnant. I got to end this, but no, she wasn't pregnant. So it's like, dang, did she piss you off that much that you had to unalive her? And
she
chop
started
her
calling
up?
him a pedophile. Apparently, she started calling she started calling him a pedophile in the Discord chats, right? Like, so, and then he was telling the moderators to delete, certain stuff. So if she was about to out him, potentially for starting to date her at 11, then I could see a person wanting to save face and get rid of a problem.
And maybe
Yeah.
she knew something. I was about to say something else that was deeper to maybe like his career or something. Because I'm like, they had to have a relationship. You did feel for her deeply, but then something had to happen because she didn't feel the same way.
How far apart in age are they?
He's 20.
5-6 years apart.
Well, how
She's
old
20
was
now,
she?
and right now she's 14,
was
15.
14.
But she's unalive.
And if
It's
she
just
was 11,
5 years,
I
so
mean, he was
she's
going
11,
to
he was
16, 17. Yeah, that's
Okay, because I was trying to think how old was he?
And
when
you
he
know what they
started
say,
molesting?
like, unfortunately, and there's statistics that back this, if a person would date someone that young, a lot of times people who do have that pedophile side of them, when that person starts to get older, they're no longer finding that person attractive
And now they
because
want
now they're
somebody
too
younger
old and they
again.
might potentially be looking for a younger person. So there's a lot of different ways that whole thing can go, because it happens. It happens, but I'm just I just need some concrete.
Right. But if they can see she wasn't pregnant, why can't they see the cause of death?
I don't understand.
Like, you can go so deep into just the anatomy. Okay, there was no embryo, there was no egg. You can't see what happened.
Because all they care about, if they care about a woman's reproductive organs, they care about that in America.
Phone record.
I guess on the body it's like decomposed. And
Nothing.
Like,
Nothing.
I find that to
Where
be
was they?
so
Where were they
interesting.
last seen, or where was she last seen alive?
Yeah.
Like, is there a trail of something that can give me some of her last movements?
I did read also that she had been, I don't know if reported missing, but she definitely was missing more than one time.
More than once.
So she may have been a troubled child also. Maybe one
away.
of those teens that just
Yeah.
was,
Or who was done for a boy? Because I know that I was one.
Really?
I know
Not
when I
coming
was
home?
I was at 13,
I
14.
getting
I was
my ass whooped.
I was gonna take that ass whooping.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
You know when you about to get
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Like, you done did something. I know.
You
I'm
rationalize.
Just stay out.
Let me just get ready for it.
Now people like, oh no, you gotta go home.
We
No, I'm
measure the
just scared.
consequences,
Yeah.
and if we determine that it's good enough, then I'm like, she gonna be my ass for like
Yeah.
60 seconds. I'm
Yeah.
gonna cry, go to sleep. Tomorrow I'll be good, but I will have seen that boy.
Yeah.
So she might have been one of those. You know?
Speaking of kids, you know, they all come in different sizes, shapes, forms, levels, frequencies. I want to spend some time talking about neurodivergent children.
Okay.
So what do you guys know about it? What do you have any questions about it? Because
Yeah.
everybody doesn't know, you know.
Right.
Okay.
So what is neurodivergent? What does
Well,
that mean?
I'm neurodivergent,
Okay.
and my children are too. I think neurodivergent the term was coined after people started to use the term neurotypical to describe individuals who didn't have a diagnosis of some sort of developmental or delay or anything like that. And so instead of calling them special or all these other terms that have more negative rooted connotations, neurodivergent means neurologically I'm divergent, I'm different than the typical, or whatever the case is, or what is considered to be typical, because really it's a social construct, right? Based on what we deem as typical behavior, this person fits on the outside of that. But it doesn't mean that they're necessarily mentally retarded or any of those other things that people used to use. So,
Might not fit that norm.
right, the norm. And I think, if I'm being honest, who does?
Right.
Right.
Like, that's the part about it. I think now that we are in this day and age where so much more is on social media and you can see it, the question becomes to me, who is regular?
That's why I love TikTok.
Right.
I see so many different types of people on TikTok as opposed to perfect Instagram and older Facebook. I'm going on TikTok, I'm seeing people of different ages, different speech. Maybe they're nonverbal, maybe they are high functioning, maybe they're low functioning. But I love it. And what I love is how many times we share pages of people who are neurodivergent, but they are still being themselves.
They're the most relatable people.
Yes.
Because I think that
fall in love with their personality.
they basically live the way we wish we all could live, but they don't give a damn.
That part.
Yes.
Like, I think we care so much sometimes about how people are going to perceive us that we put more energy into caring how we show up as opposed to just showing up.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So with that definition, thank you. I feel like, do you guys feel like, me, when I'm older, I've been saying like, oh, ADHD. Like, do you feel like neurodivergency and ADHD are just normal characteristics we don't know that we had until we got older? And now we're like, you know what, this is what this is. Like, this, like, it's fine. It's a characteristic, but it's like, oh, ADHD. Oh, I have this. Like, do you guys feel that way?
I think it comes from also when we gain these better understandings
Right.
of things, right? So like for my daughter, when I got her evaluated, super intelligent, honor roll student, but I just was seeing you hate to compare, but you also can't help it, right? Okay, these kids are moving a little bit faster with this. Oh, this speech is a little bit clearer, or something's different. Let's remove the stigma of getting your child evaluated.
Right.
Because get your child the help they need.
Don't get me started on
Why
that
would
one
you
right
allow
there.
your
No,
child
get started
to
on it.
struggle? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
It's so crazy.
Get them the help they need.
I tell people all the time that the greatest relief I ever got was the day my son was diagnosed.
Because you understood him.
Right. And even to what we just said about it, I feel like giving these things a name is what we do because it makes us feel like we understand it better. Like the human brain, I don't think, just in general, we don't like stuff that don't make sense to us.
Right.
So we got to make it make sense. Let me give it a title. We're going to call it this. We're going to call it that. Because, like, first of all, these medical names, where they even be coming up with them? Who came up with autism? I want to know why, but I think overall, when he was at this phase, my son didn't actually develop, my oldest, South State. He's 14 now, but early on, he was diagnosed at 2. So he was one of those kids technically in the early intervention window, but his first evaluation process, he was rejected. Initially, I had to advocate for him to be retested because I could tell after 18 months, he experienced a significant shift. He was hitting every milestone on time up until that point. And then not only did he stop, he regressed. So words that he was using, he stopped using. So he used to tell me when somebody was at the door and then suddenly he wasn't using any words. But he was still doing sounds, singing songs from his favorite show. He loves some Yo Gabba Gabba. I ain't going.
That was my dream.
Yeah. Don't get me started. I know everyone. I used to be in there like, Mono, watch where you're going.
I still sing Party in My Tummy.
My tummy.
That is my
And you know what's, and there's songs on there that I still sing till this day that calm him down. And I'm going to get in the character. I'm going to be like, Proby, why are you mad? But it's like, it's one of those things that I started to notice. I was like, he's not doing those things. And it's like, okay, I'm going to say this because I think emotionally, many mothers probably can relate to this feeling. I was looking forward to the day that my son called me mom. And I felt like we were going on that path. And then at some point, hearing mama didn't feel like a thing was going to happen. And this is my first child. So like all these things that I was looking forward to in motherhood, which is why I'm writing a book right now, honestly, on it, called What Not to Expect When Expecting. Because I don't feel like nothing prepared me for the things that I was looking forward to, and like being a mom that I had to realize this is not about to be an experience right now. But I will say the stigmas, you hit it on the nose, because in the beginning, I don't think anybody in my family even said, oh, you should get him checked or you should get him evaluated. I just was one of those people, and this is my ADHD. Now I know that because I'm late diagnosed as an adult, right? But my brain can't move forward if I have a problem that I can't foresee a solution. I don't have to have it fixed today, but I need to at least know. And I couldn't foresee how, like, I didn't know what to do with this. I was like, how am I supposed to help my son? And so at least once he got diagnosed, I now at least had some answers of like what he might need. Because I think the best thing any parent can do, and this is the hardest thing to do, is to admit when you're not the person for the job.
Right.
Yeah.
As a mom or a parent, you want to feel, you know what I mean? Like, I can take care of my child, I can handle. But at some point I had to be like, this one is not mine. We need a specialist. We need
As mothers, we are not bigger than the program.
Right.
That's
But
true.
you know what? It takes a really great mom to even like admit that and be like, you know what, this is hard. Because I feel like the mothers who like deny that and they have like an image they have to upkeep and like outside looking, and you end up being lesser than.
And who ends up affected?
Yeah.
The child. They spend longer time without resources that could have potentially changed the entire trajectory of their
Early
life.
intervention is key.
Very
early intervene. The earlier, the better.
Yeah. The thing about that is, so when my children were small, we were in Pennsylvania. So my son is autistic. He's 18 now. Hey, Judah. He's 18 in college. Oh my God, I'm about to cry. So he was diagnosed when he was 4. He hit his milestones, but he's just stopped talking like 3. He was just like mumbling, and he couldn't get his words out. So we went to the doctor. I guess she was just like maybe a psychologist. I don't know.
Yeah, they usually send them to like a developmental pediatrician or it has to be a behavioral psychologist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she basically said he may not be able to talk for the rest of his adulthood, or he may be nonverbal. When he started school, I feel like the programming in that school, it was not suitable for him.
I actually went up against the Board of Ed in New York City and won. But I had that problem.
Yeah, they were not helpful at all. He didn't get the help we needed until we moved back to New York. And that's when everything changed.
Which is so crazy, because what you wouldn't know is that Pennsylvania was actually one of the first states to have autism services. There's certain states that are better. Like California is also really good. They'll pay you to be a caregiver for your child because they understand that like most special needs parents, when they're young, first of all, a qualified child care provider is going to be more expensive than what already is expensive. Right. And then on top of it, your traditional jobs don't understand those days off you got to take, those evaluations, those appointments, or the day that they just had a bad day or a meltdown. So like a lot of like parents, it doesn't just affect your child, it doesn't just affect your life, it affects potentially what careers you can work in. That's what literally made me change my whole career. My son getting diagnosed took me out of politics and put me into sex. And,
Oh, girl, that is some shift. Okay, so you both said something. You said 18 months and you said 3 years old for Joe. Do you think there was any factors that may have contributed to that shift, or do you just kind of, what do you feel was...
I know this is going to sound I'm not a conspiracy theorist, let me say that. I like to deal in fact. But I also can't disacknowledge my own experience between my 2 children, also noticing vast differences of something too. My first child got all the vaccines on time.
I was about to ask.
And I noticed after that, now there's actually research coming out about potentially this particular vaccine that is administered, the final dosage around 18 months, that is supposedly now tied to it. There's a doctor who discovered this and they took his license away and all this kind of stuff. So it's a big case. It's still continuing right now. So I can't say this is a fact, but I can say with my other child who's now 5, I delayed him getting certain vaccines and I denied the ones that weren't technically mandatory. And both of them have an ADHD diagnosis, but my youngest son is actually on a genius scale. He has a very high IQ. And so academically, I mean, he's 5, but academically, he's already doing multiplication, division, math. He can read, and comprehend what he's reading. And he's been doing that since 1 or 2. And I noticed I also breastfed him longer. I breastfed him almost 2.5 months.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Whereas my other son, I breastfed him for the first 3 months. Actually, just thought about this. I was pissed off with the hospital because when I gave birth to them, I gave specific instructions not to give him formula. Wow. And when he was first born, I guess his sugar level was low. And so they fed him the formula. So he got introduced to formula before my breast. Wow. As opposed to my other child, I knew different. I knew better. I was almost 10 years later, I advocated and it was like, absolutely not. If I knew what I knew now then, I would have y'all went against my direct instruction about my child. I had issues with him latching after that. I had a hard time. So I tried to breastfeed him, but after 3 months, I had to cut milk. So many different things. He had a stomach sensitivity where the other one didn't have. I just noticed vast differences. So I'm still curious about what comes of this research, but I do think that we're sometimes administering things that might help in one area but impact another. So
For me, when I was younger, which I thought I contributed to JoJo's autism. So with my older child, I felt like I was like happier. When I was pregnant with JoJo, I didn't know I was pregnant. I thought when I went to the doctor, I thought I probably was like 3 months pregnant. I was 7 months pregnant. I was unhappy, depressed. I went through a lot of shit.
It's okay, baby.
So,
It's okay.
sorry.
That's okay.
So even having him,
Was it traumatic?
it was traumatic. It was like, I feel like I didn't love my child. I was like, maybe it's
No.
me. I didn't give him enough love. But, you know, when you research, even if you have the perfect pregnancy, anything can happen. Yeah, so when I was younger, I thought that was why. It wasn't maybe it's my fault. So
I could relate.
tell you.
I could relate because I was younger when I had my first, obviously. I was 21 when I gave birth then, but I had 2 pregnancies that I lost prior to. I was in a domestically abusive relationship, but a lot of significant factors. My next child, I wasn't in as bad of a circumstance. I still had some challenges, but I would say that my support felt different. So I can relate to kind of wondering like, because I have no child before my son and my like immediate 3 tiers of family with a diagnosis. So they say it's
kind of feel like it's fairly unknown.
they say it's genetic. Yeah, they say it's genetic, but I guess we could look further into his dad, but even his father, I couldn't really find too much evidence of like people with developmental things on that end.
But
So
I would
yeah.
love to commend all of you, first of all, you know, because as a mom, I just want to say this, like, you know, despite what anybody is talking about, you know, like even when Auburn, I had her, you know, the doctors were doing like a, what's that thing where they stick the needle in? They did an amniosis, and they only wanted that because they saw an x-ray and they were like, oh, she has an extra chromosome. She might come out mentally retarded and delayed, right? So the day we went to go get like the amniosis, it was so many black women. Her father goes, well, how common is this? Because there's nothing but black women in here. And I was like, well, I don't know. Me being, you know, we got to see, it's my first baby. He's like, well, maybe we shouldn't do it. And I was like, well, no, we have to. You know, me just
You
being.
want to know?
I want to know.
I told you we don't like the unknown. Look.
We go, and the needle, we watched needle go in. Like, when I tell you the needle was so
thick.
close.
Oh, God.
But it was so, she moved up a little bit, so close to her head, so unsafe. Only for her to come out and nothing be wrong.
That same thing.
Because they
Nothing
use
like-
your fear.
Yes.
Because
But
when
you
you're a
know.
parent, you just want to make sure you don't do anything
Yes.
that causes the
Right.
problems. And they actually use that to intimidate you into doing something that you already don't feel.
Right.
Yeah.
From
From
these
these
money.
procedures,
Yeah.
You know, as a mom, because me being Caribbean, baby, we smoke during breastfeeding. You smoke when you're pregnant. We drink wine. We do, and the baby still comes out completely fine. I feel like it's not until they're introduced to the outside world that stuff starts happening. You know, characteristics like being
I don't
introduced.
know about that, girl, 'cause sometimes
What?
fetal alcohol syndrome,
Okay,
right?
okay,
Somebody is
not extensive stuff, but like
Well, they say sometimes you can have wine.
you have wine.
Yeah,
certain
one
things,
glass of red
or one
wine,
glass
yeah.
of red
Yeah.
wine. But you know what's so funny? I've only talked about this once before. I've not actually talked about this on a public platform because it took me almost until like maybe a year ago and change to actually be able to talk about it without getting emotional.
Right.
Both of my children are rainbows, right? Because technically my first one came after a child loss of multiples before him. But the second one was a little different because I experienced something that's medically called superfetation. Superfetation is essentially the act of getting pregnant while pregnant.
Oh, okay. She was throwing it
So it's a
down.
very, very rare thing. Not that many people have experienced it. I didn't consent at the time to like my information being shared. I wanted to be able to control my story.
Right.
But what happened was I was already pregnant with twins. I went into the hospital because I was experiencing symptoms of potentially losing that pregnancy. And when I got to there, I did, right? And I was a little further along in the pregnancy. So I was into my second trimester when my twins were lost. And so, you know, I'm just in there thinking like this crazy traumatic thing just happened to me. This is the second time in life that I remember feeling this exact feeling, but I was like a decade older and was like, everything hit. Because I don't think I actually dealt with the first time when it happened. You know how we do. We go through shit and then something else got to happen. I got to be to work in a week.
Yeah.
So this time was different. But when they came back, they told me I was still pregnant. And I was like,
Right.
So they had did like a DNC.
They were about to do a DNC.
Okay.
What's the DNC?
Right, and cleaning out. So they were doing imagery to check me before doing the DNC, and that's when they saw there's another embryo inside of her. It was in a completely separate sac, and they were not the same age in gestation. So I got pregnant a little after I had already been pregnant with the first two. Yeah, so it was insane. It was insane, but mentally I was trying to process, how am I supposed to, like, I'm grieving the loss,
Right.
but are we celebrating?
If that's
So
confusing.
it was
How big was the age difference? Was it like?
Oh, we were
close?
talking about, no, not close. My youngest was 6 weeks in gestation. The others were closer to 18, 19 weeks in gestation. So it was a vast separation. I got, I'm one of those.
What was your mindset when you
Child.
found that out?
I was about to go get a drink after this loss, and then they told me this, and I was like, so I can get a little liquor now. Okay. Yeah, it was hard because even them trying to explain it to me, and thank God for Black people in healthcare.
Right.
Because they were talking to me, and I don't think they understood that, like, nothing y'all are saying
It's making sense.
And she had to just walk up and say, sis, that drink, you can't have it. Like, she had to get firm, like mother, auntie on me. And she was like, I know that what you're hearing right now is hard to hear, but what they're telling you is that there's a child inside of you who wants to live. And so she said, so I know that this is going to be hard. I need you to tether to your faith. We can pray over it. She, like, literally got in my face, and she got me together, and I'm looking at her, and she was like, and we're going to pray. She was like, because this child, I don't know what this child's supposed to do, but this child's supposed to do something. But she said to me, but I want to give you your options, because I can understand if after a loss, you don't want to think about pregnancy. So if you do not wish to go forward with this other pregnancy, tell me, and we will honor that too if you need some time. So it was just like her ability to kind of like
get you to, right.
And after I sat with it, I was like, okay, this child is healthy. This child is vital. I was already preparing for a child or whatever the case is. And it just taught me, like, take a step back. So technically I was pregnant longer than average pregnancy because I never got a break from the first to second. Yeah. He came early, 35 weeks, technically premature, but full size weight, completely healthy. And then now, like I said, he might have ate some of his
little brains, little energy.
They couldn't.
Twins, or did they find?
Well, no, the twins passed. They came.
Okay.
Yeah,
naturally.
But they couldn't do a DNC. So if there was a little something extra, he probably was in it like Pac-Man.
Okay.
Because I don't know, he came out extremely, like, from very early on. You could see signs that this kid was hitting his milestones super early, and I was like, he started. I said to him, B is for bedtime. He said, no, B is for boobs. Boobs. I was like, oh, this is too smart.
This is a genius one.
This is a little genius. And I was like, yeah, B is for boobs. So who taught you that? That's what happens when you breastfeed. But honestly, it was one of those motherhood experiences that I was like, just when you thought you experienced
everything.
I like how you said the title, because I know when I was pregnant, I was reading them damn books. I was watching all the pregnancy movies, even the comedy ones. What to expect when you're expecting, and nothing about pregnancy or motherhood is a cookie cutter approach.
At all.
And yours is what not to expect.
What's not to expect.
And you never know what could happen, what could go wrong, what symptoms you may experience.
And I feel like we need more people to write and just speak about being pregnant, like moms, because like growing up, it was always, oh, but your feet gonna hurt, your back gonna hurt. Like, nobody talked about the psychological
side.
That pregnancy. Like, I literally had an out of body experience because I was just so confused being pregnant, and I do feel like it wasn't really, it was an outer body. It wasn't me wanting to do what I was doing, but I was like trying to consume an abortion. Like, I was trying to like make myself not pregnant, and I was just like, and then afterwards, I'm still in another, because I'm like, damn, why would I try and do this? Like, nobody talks about the toll it has.
It's
on
like
you.
They tell you about the physical stuff to prepare for, but not the mental. You just hit it, because technically, the gray matter in our head alters, and it stays that way for like 6 years after the child is born. And it's so many different things, like the DNA from the father still behind in your body for a good amount of time too. Right, that's how I thought.
Please say this part, because when you become pregnant and you have a child inside of you, the DNA of the father stays inside of you for how long?
It's literally up to 6 years.
Up to 6 years, you have not only already having one person's DNA, you have two people you got
outside of your own.
Outside of your own, you are not yourself.
You are not.
You are never yourself.
You are not.
Men, you don't even know who she is, okay? And then we have pregnancies, and we're only periods. We're only ourselves 2 days out the month. Yeah. We're only who are we?
And if honestly, if I'm even fair to the guys, I feel like because we don't get the psychological prep, they don't get the psychological prep twice over.
Right.
And it is for the guys who are actually there for the process. Let me be clear.
Yeah.
The real fathers in the room.
The real daddies.
Okay.
I empathize for them because it's like, we can't even tell you. We can't really even explain to you what's going on. And it's hard to be a caregiver. Like, if anybody who's taking care of anybody sick knows that, like, it's not easy to deal with that and still take care of yourself. Right. So they're over there just like Russian roulette, trying this, trying that, trying that. Like, you want a cookie? You want a Snicker? Like, whatever, trying to figure out how to, like, change your mood. And it's like trial and error. So I feel like that creates a lot of the issues that people have. I want to ask you something, though. Because your child was diagnosed so early, much like, and when I say early, I mean years ago, right? Do you feel like I know they set up the kids with the support services, but do you feel like as a mom, you had to self-learn most of the things, or do you feel like you got a lot of support, even learning what this meant for you?
I don't want to say I got a lot of support. I know at home when I wasn't working, because I worked a lot. I used to work overnight, and then I would have my kids in the morning. So from 2 to 5, when he started school, I would try to, like, ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, let's try to do words and things like that. But when he was in school, I just feel like I don't know, they weren't that supportive. Like you said, they had, like, what is it? It's like speech therapy.
Yeah,
There's occupational therapy.
Sometimes physical. They don't do nothing for the parent, in my opinion. Like, you're basically self-learning autism the minute the diagnosis comes. And then you're spending hours online searching everything that happens.
I wasn't even doing that, though, because I was working and I was tired.
You was tired.
It was like,
winging it.
I was winging it. I didn't really start until I probably was a little bit older. I had them at, 23? So maybe around like 7, 8, that's when I started, okay, let me Google stuff. Let me see what I can do, because in school, the teachers aren't really helpful. They don't really reach out to me about anything. I don't know.
I don't feel like,
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't feel like it's like enough conversation, but then it's like, let's just say when it comes to content creation, right? If you two make the same exact video, doing the same exact thing, I feel like your followers are going to listen to you because they like you and your personality. They're going to listen to you for the same reason. But when it comes to like talking about certain things, you need to hear it from somebody who you see a big, factor for. Like, I love this person and they're talking about this. We need to talk about it. Because from a teacher standpoint, my kids used to have, like, problems. I used to be like, wait a minute, like, hold on. And then it wasn't where I worked. That's why I, like, kind of fell out of love with teaching, because of the restriction I had as a teacher. I have your kid from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Why can't I come to you and talk to you and say, hey, mom, not even I think this is going on, but, such and such did X, Y, and Z today. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I couldn't do that. But then, like, they're treating the child like a problem. Like, one little boy came in, and he had behavioral problems, he had autism, he had something else, right? But the mom was in denial. The mom never said this. Maybe she's been through so many different schools who probably kicked him out. She didn't want to say anything. And then we're treating him like a bad child who is just not listening, and he's really not. He can't, and that broke my heart. Because I'm really like, I'll hold him. Like, put him there. I'll hold him, please. Please let me hold him. Like, something, and they just would not let it happen.
Sounds like he's a kid with sensory dysregulation.
And it started with the mother. Had you come in, had you probably known, had you probably felt comfortable enough to be like, hey, my son is X, Y, Z, Z, he wouldn't have had to endure the experience that he had going to school.
But you know what it is? Even for those mothers, I hold grace, because nobody wants a kid who rides a short bus, right? Like, I feel like on one end, there are those of us who find the positive in it. But on the other end, especially when you come from parents or people who real old school with it, ain't nothing wrong with that child. Ain't nothing wrong. Just give them this, or just tell them this, or, or like you said, punishing or hitting the child for behavior that they couldn't control.
But I feel like that's selfish.
It is.
When you have a child, it's not about you. Like, I understand your image, what you want to think, what you might not be. It is not about you. It is about that child coming into the world, and it's like their first interactions with people and human society is you. If you don't take them seriously, you don't give them what they need, you don't understand them, you don't take the time, who is going to?
Many of us didn't get it though.
Yeah.
You know, only reason why I look at stuff like, here's what I'll say. Having special needs kids teaches you to look at the world completely different. Like, people ask me, how can you connect with people so easily? I'm like, I have a child whose primary form of communication is not words. I am literally conditioned at this point in life with a 14-year-old by now, right, to look for the communication that's not verbal, right? That's a positive of it.
I was about to say, I feel
true.
more of it what is it, an empath?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
You can
became
kind of
an
connect with
empath,
people's
yeah.
feelings a little bit deeper because you're noticing these little nuances that other people would miss. But you had to pay attention because you was trying to figure out what is wrong with this child. So now when I deal with regular, everyday people, I'm noticing, oh, you shifted your shoulder to the left a little. Like, so my
Body
man hates
language.
it.
Yeah. No, that's
It's
good.
80% communication. Like,
Yeah,
and
but like,
verbal.
I honestly feel like when you think about it, I have to think like, what about my upbringing prepared me for this situation or whatever? And me personally, I had a mother who had a mental disorder, who would, that impacted her with bipolar over time. But I don't feel like anything growing up, other than the fact that she was mental, got me ready. Because see, if you got a parent with a mental disorder, it's like
Because we got, we all got.
it's like a jack in the box. It's like who?
No, that's
it's like
true.
today you picking each day which personality you're gonna deal with. So what I am good with is mood swings and shifts because I'm used to somebody around me who ain't never straight. Like, she just 1 minute she making me eggs and bacon in the morning, next minute she like, bitch, get out, go to school. Like, and I'm like, damn, I just woke up. But yeah, so when my son shifts, I'm not as thrown off. I'm kind of like, okay, let's see what's going on. But I don't think nobody got me ready for this shit.
That's important to say too, because my mom, I forgot to big up my mom. Hey, mommy. She worked with adults with behavioral issues and that were on the spectrum. So that kind of prepared me a little bit. So when we would talk about, she was super, it's so crazy. She's patient with children and old people, but she bipolar too. She crazy in the mug. But she is so great with children and older people and caring.
The nurturer just
so
comes out.
She was helpful
What
with
about you,
him.
Tiff? Do you feel like you had an upbringing that like prepared you for anything in your adult life, or like being a mother?
I would say no. Education. Education really allowed me to be exposed to so many different levels of children and their different personalities and how the way they would react to something. I think it also helped me be like, you see somebody being an outcast or being pushed away by others, and help bring me closer to them. Like,
you want to
and tell
understand them.
Y'all gonna let him play Uno. You ain't even know. Ain't nobody playing. If he can't
Oh, they
play
brought the
Uno,
civil rights side of you.
that's not right. It's just not the right thing to do.
isn't.
So I did study special education for when I went back to school. But yeah, just learning about kids, and again, being a mother. Being a mother is one thing that just teaches you so much patience and understanding, and that it's not always about you and how you feel and how you think, because everybody.
But
thinks
it is.
It is, right?
It is.
About me.
No, you know what else it is my thing. They always say, oh, put the mask on yourself first.
All right, guys. Well,
That sounds so good.
shout out to all the mothers out there, and remember, okay, mothers know best. Until next time, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, bye.
Peace, y'all.